Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today for your yoga practice. Today we're going to start in mountain pose. Start by lifting up your toes, grounding through the three corners of your feet and firmly planting each toe down to the ground. Hands coming to heart center, maybe close the eyes and begin to focus on your breath. Inhaling to feel the belly rise and exhaling to feel it fall. Inhaling to rise from the crown of your head up towards the sky and exhaling to start to release any areas that may be holding tension. Maybe thinking of the firmness of your hands clasped together. We'll inhale to raise our arms up to the sky. Clasping our hands, maybe pointing our index fingers. Making sure that our ears between our biceps. We'll inhale, and as we exhale, we'll come down to the right hand side. Another inhale back to center and exhaling to come down maybe a little bit deeper on that right hand side. Inhaling to center, and on our next exhale we'll come down to the left, ensuring that biceps are tight to our ears but our shoulders aren't riding up towards them. Inhale up to center and exhale again to come a little bit further before feeling that stretch along the side body, that space in between each of your ribs on the side of your torso. Inhaling up and then just doing some swinging with the arms, release any tension. Quite a fluid movement. Maybe letting that swinging come to your hips and coming to the front of our mat, exhaling into a forward fold. Releasing the weight of the head down, maybe shaking it yes or no. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows and having a little bit of a sway side to side. Releasing the weight of the head and in turn tension in your neck, shoulders, upper and lower back. Remembering to focus on your breath and make sure that you're not holding on. I'm using a block here, but you can have your fingerprints firmly planted on the ground instead. We'll take an inhale, raising the left fingertips up to the sky, right fingertips firmly planted. Left leg beginning to straighten. Exhaling, we'll swap the left hand down to the ground, and this time the right fingertips up to the sky. The right leg beginning to straighten. It's okay if it doesn't go completely straight, but you should feel a stretch along the back of your leg and be lifting up through the fingertips. Exhaling will bring us back down to the ground. Stepping the right foot back and beginning to straighten both legs as we come up to a flat back position. This may mean that you're halfway up, maybe a little bit further down, maybe higher, but we'll try and keep elongation in our spine. I tend to put either the hands by my heart center or airplane arms below, hands on the legs. And you want to again be feeling a stretch in your hamstring along the back of the left leg. Experimenting with the positioning of the hips sometimes helps this. Returning to center and taking the left foot back. And inhale to rise us up. I find hands at heart center helps me make sure that my chest is open rather than hunching forward. I always look towards the edge of my mat rather than right down at my toes to keep that lift and openness. Returning myself to the center position. Inhaling, swooping the arms up, and an exhale to sit back in an imaginary chair behind you. Little tilt of the pelvis to make sure we've not got what I call our twerking bottom out. You might find that you feel this in the thighs, and you have the option to lift the heels up, coming up onto the toes for a little bit of yoga for the feet. Inhaling the arms up to the sky, we'll exhale to fold forward. Inhaling the right leg back and the left. Finding our vinyasa. That might be lowering down to the ground, inhaling up to Cobra. Due to my pregnancy, I choose not to come belly down to the mat, and instead stay in all fours. Inhaling, bringing my belly down to the ground. Eyes up to the sky, and exhaling to push in between my shoulder blades, chin to chest. And continuing this for a few rounds of breath. At your own pace. Think of lifting up out of the ground, firmly planting the tops of the feet, spreading the fingertips wide, pressing the fingerprints into the mat. Matching the inhale with when you're opening up through the chest. And the exhale with when you find compression there. Wherever we are, we'll come to our all fours. We'll inhale our right fingertips up to the sky and exhale to thread the right arm underneath the body, bringing the right ear to the ground, and option with the left arm, maybe up on fingertips overhead, or maybe wrapped around the back to open up through the front of the left shoulder. Noticing how the breathing is slightly different here, and the way in which the breath travels is different from when we were inhaling and opening up through the chest and exhaling and compressing. Using the left hand to support you back to your all four position. This time we will inhale our left fingertips up to the sky and exhale to swoop that arm underneath, coming down onto our left shoulder and left ear. Again, choice with where you would like your right arm, either fingertips overhead or maybe wrapped behind the back. I tend to look for my opposite hip crease with my pinky finger. When we're ready, we'll bring our right hand to the ground to support us back to our all four position. And just do a little bit of yoga for the wrists. And we're going to start with our fingertips facing each other, palms firmly planted on the ground. Fingerprints clawing into the mat. And we'll do some push-ups by lifting the base of the palm of our hand up and placing it back down, trying to keep the fingers completely planted. The more firmly you press into the mat, the more strengthening you're doing for your wrists. We'll alter this and take our fingertips facing out and continue to do our push-ups. Coming back, we'll take the backs of our hands, fingertips towards the knees, and rest the backs of our hands on the mat. At this point, you may feel that this is enough of a stretch along the top of our wrists. If not, you can always start to move your bum back towards your heels, either in one motion or a gentle rocking back and forth. Fingertips still towards the knees. We'll alter it so our palms are down on the ground. And once again, this may be enough of a stretch, or you may again bring your bum towards your heels or do a little bit of a rocking motion. Release. Maybe shake out the hands, maybe massage the wrists and do some wrist rolls. We often neglect our wrists on our feet, so we'll try and pay a bit of attention to them today. Coming back to our all four position. Wrists roughly underneath the shoulders, lifting up in between our shoulder blades, extending the left leg out behind us, curling the toes under and lifting the heel to roughly hip height. Opposite arm can extend out in front. On an exhale, you'll knee to elbow. Inhale to reach out. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale to extend out. Continuing this for a couple rounds of breath. Trying not to dip too much in the lower back and continuing to try and lift away from the ground. Maybe the last time extending the foot out to the left-hand side. And back to center, this time to extend the right leg out behind us, lifting up the heel, really pressing back as if we're trying to step on a wall behind us. And exhale will be knee to elbow and inhale out. Constantly thinking about rooting down through the top of the foot on the ground and the palm to lift up. Maybe kicking the leg out to the side on the final round. We'll curl our toes under. Over the knees and send our tailbone up and back to down dog. Having any little adjustments here you may need, so maybe you want to bend the knees. Maybe you want to keep them straight. Hands can always become a little bit wider. And we'll walk our feet up towards our hands and exhale back into that forward fold position. Inhaling the arms up to the sky and exhaling hands to heart center. Inhaling hands up and exhaling to forward fold. We'll inhale for a halfway lift or flat back, your version. Exhale, palms or fingertips to the ground. Inhaling the right and the left leg back to our plank. Making sure we've got no down dog bums, lifting up in that space in between our shoulder blades. You can always place the knees down if you prefer. We'll take a vinyasa when you're ready. And whether you choose to come down to the ground and inhale to Cobra or Up Dog, on an exhale we'll come to Down Dog. Inhaling the right and the left foot forward. We'll exhale into a forward fold. Inhaling the arms up to the sky and exhaling hands to heart center. Inhaling up, exhaling to float down. Inhaling for halfway lift or flat back. Exhaling palms or fingertips to the ground. Inhaling the left and then the right leg back to our plank position. Coming down on forearms this time. Knees may come down or remain raised, but we're still looking for that shoulder lift. Building strength in our upper body as well as our core. Forearms can be parallel or hands clasped together. You'll either lower down and inhale to Cobra, or meet me back in down dog with whatever preferred vinyasa you take. Inhaling the left and the right foot forward and exhaling forward fold. Inhaling arms up to the sky and exhaling hands to heart center. Inhaling up, exhaling to float down. We'll inhale for our halfway lift. Exhale, palms or fingertips to the ground. Inhaling the right leg back and planting the right knee. We'll take our left hand to guide our left knee out to the side. You can be up on your right hand or your right forearm. Remembering to breathe. Inhaling to come back up to that central low lunge. We'll exhale to roll onto our left heel, toes up towards the sky. And inhale to lift up and then exhale to fold forward, feeling a stretch along the back of that left leg. You can use a block as I am here. Place your hands on any part of your leg or fingertips down to the ground, all depending on your body. Rolling ourselves back to our low lunge position. Planting the right palm, inhaling the left fingertips up to the sky. Option of lifting that right knee. Lifting up through the left fingertips as if you're trying to reach and take your right hand off the ground. We'll exhale to bring both palms down inside the front foot and kick back to our plank position. Rolling on to the right hand side of our feet for side plank. A couple options where you want to put your feet for stability. Trying to lift up through the hips. And make sure we're not dumping our weight in the shoulder. Coming back to our plank, taking your vinyasa. And when ready, we'll meet in down dog. Taking a breath or two here. And inhaling the right and the left foot forward. Exhaling forward fold. Inhaling arms up to the sky and exhaling hands to heart center. Inhaling arms up and exhaling to forward fold. We'll inhale for that halfway lift or flat back and exhale palms or fingertips to the ground. Inhaling left leg back, planting left knee and left hand as our right palm gently guides the right leg out to the side, maybe rolling your foot onto the outside edge. You can be up on your palm or forearm again here. Coming back back up to center. We'll roll back onto that right heel, toes up towards the sky. Really active as if we're stomping on a wall in front of us with that foot. We'll inhale to come up, and an exhale will fold us forward. Again, you may decide to use a block. Perhaps you fold all the way over your leg, or maybe you're up a little bit higher and pop your hand on a wall beside you. You want to keep your heart forward rather than bringing the crown of your head down first. Take ourselves back into our low lunge position. Plant the left hand, inhale the right fingertips up to the sky, maybe lifting the left knee off the ground, reaching up through those fingertips, up, 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 nice and strong. Exhaling to bring both hands down to kick back to plank. This time rolling onto the left hand side of our feet, taking the right arms up into the sky, lifting up the hips. Top foot can be in front or behind if that helps with stability. Remembering to breathe and returning back to center. Taking your vinyasa. Said before, I'll stay in all fours and meet you all in down dog. Inhaling the left and the right foot forward. We'll exhale into that forward fold. Inhaling the arms up to the sky and exhaling hands to heart center. Feel free to grab a drink of water if you want after our Sun Salutations. And when we're ready, we'll turn sideways on our mat, taking toes roughly to the outside edges of the mat and sitting down as if there's a chair directly beneath us. So we want to open up and act as if we're pulling our legs to the fence behind us rather than allowing them to collapse forward. Hands at heart center is an option. I find it good for placing my thumbs on my breastbone to lift up again through the chest. And then I move into cactus arms. Pulling the backs of the hands further back, bring the shoulder blades together. Remembering to breathe, and at any point an exhale can always take you slightly deeper or slightly further onto that chair beneath. We'll come up and turn our right toes out to the front edge of our mat and bend the right knee. Thinking of having our weight central, pushing into that front heel of the front foot and the outside edge of the back foot. Having a look past our front fingertips, making sure we've not got that twerking bottom. We'll flip the palm, inhale, and swoop it back, looking up towards the sky. Back hand can gently rest wherever it may fall. Interlacing hands behind our back, opening up through the chest. Nice big inhale, and as you exhale, folding down inside the front leg. Either keeping it so it looks as if you're trying to kiss the floor, or releasing the weight of the head down like in our forward fold. We'll come back up to center. Both toes facing forward, maybe slightly inward to release tension on the hamstrings. Hands on hips as we're going to hinge from here rather than guiding with the top of our head. And on an exhale, slowly lowering forward. Hands may come down to the ground, or maybe we need to place them on a block. I start with the flat back, positioning, feeling length along both sides of my torso, still opening up through the front body. Maybe releasing the hands down and releasing the weight of the head. This is an inversion, as it makes sure that your head is below your heart. And it's very calming for the nervous system. Slowly beginning to come back up. Turn our left toes out to face the back of our mat, inhaling arms to shoulder height, having a little look to make sure that one arm's not flailing around behind us, and then settling to look in that space in front of our front fingertips, reaching forward, flipping the front palm and scooping up and back. Eyes can be open up towards the sky or closed. Releasing the hands down behind our back, interlacing them, opening up through the chest. And on an exhale, we'll fold down inside the front leg. Still trying to keep the weight even between our front and back foot, despite the slight distribution and change in weight. We'll come back to center, heel toe, and slowly roll ourselves back up so we don't get a head rush. Finding our firm standing, maybe lifting the toes up off the ground again to feel the three corners of our feet firmly planted. Hands on hips, so in a moment we know that we're not shifting our weight in a particular direction and taking ourselves off balance. We'll take the weight into our left foot and inhale to raise the right knee up. We want our right foot to be stompy, so really active. We'll take the right knee out to the side, and the foot can go wherever it would like, maybe down by our ankle, on our calf. I'd avoid putting any weight on our knee or kneecap. And if you fall out at any point in time, set yourself up again and get back in. Once you've found your stable standing position, we're going to lift up as if we're reaching up out of the ground. Hands to heart center to make sure we're opening up again through the chest. Maybe shoulder blades starting to draw together. We should be very active in this posture with the base of the foot, and in my case the thigh muscles really fighting against each other, firmly rooted against each other. Finding a focal point that isn't going to move, to try and help keep your balance. Thinking of the belly button to spine connection so your core is engaged. Releasing the leg and placing it to cross over the top of the thigh. We'll come back into that chair position if there's chairs behind us. But this time it would be a nice stretch for what's called our piriformis muscle. Coming back up, releasing the foot down. Having a chance to reset again and create a strong foundation for moving to the other side. Weight this time into the right leg and the right foot. Inhaling the left knee up and out, and placing the foot wherever it would like to go. Don't worry if one side's different to another. There'll be many reasons for this. Don't judge yourself too harshly if you fall out. Or maybe if for today tree is not for you. Once we've taken a couple breaths here, take the outside of the ankle again on top of the right thigh and sit down in that imaginary chair behind us. Still keeping eyes on that focal point. Coming out, maybe having a little bit of a shake of the legs, a little bit of pat of the feet, and we'll find our way down to the ground and onto our backs. It may be that you'd like something similar to a block or blanket or pillow, as there is an option to place this underneath us for our next posture. Coming to lay on our backs, we want to make sure that we bring our chin towards our chest to accentuate the natural curve of our cervical spine or our neck. We don't want this resting on the mat. Instead, we wish to support it. Bringing our heels as close to our bum as possible. And we can either have our palms face down or palms faced up, whichever feels quite firmly planted on the ground. Again, everyone's different. We'll press firmly into our feet to lift our hips up towards the sky. Maybe snuggling the shoulder blades a little bit more underneath the heart space, and remembering that chin to chest connection. Lowering down to the ground at any point. Pressing back into the soles of our feet. Lifting the hips up. Imagining we've got a block in between our thighs. Firmly pressing together, again a very active pose. Maybe interlacing the hands underneath us, pinkies firmly rooted down into the ground. Thinking about our neck once again, chin to chest, so it's lifted off the mat. Maybe deciding to pop a block underneath our sacrum or a blanket or pillow for a supportive or more restorative version of this posture. Still gaining the benefits of bridge pose, but being supported along the pelvis and the lower back. Coming back down when you're ready. Hugging knees in towards the chest. You can always rock side to side or do circles with the knees. Nice massage for the lower back. And bringing our soles of our feet together. Bringing the edges of our feet down to the ground. Allowing the hips to sit open. Maybe giving our hip creases a bit of a massage. Maybe supporting underneath our knees or legs with blankets or blocks. Opening the palms up towards the sky. Eyes open or closed. And taking a couple deep breaths here. Inhaling to feel the belly rise and exhaling to feel it fall. Using your focus on the breath to bring you back into the present moment. Not worrying if thoughts come into your head, but allowing them to float out just as easily as they floated in. thanking yourself for taking time for you. And maybe noticing if your body feels different. We'll take our hands to the outside of our legs, bring our knees back into that center position, and roll on to either side, left or right, to come back up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you very much for joining me for your yoga practice today. We'll inhale our arms up to the sky and exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste.